Welcome to the BumbleKast. I'm your host, Ian Flynn, the Bumble King, and joining me as always is my Bumble co-host, Kyle, JCRB Krause.
Hello, no song today because we have questions.
We do. They all come from our patrons over at patreon.com/BumbleKast, Ko-fi.com/BumbleKast, and our YouTube members.
Yes, indeed. Let's jump right on into it. This one is from Alolan Figment. It's finally time for the crossover we've all been waiting for. Mario and Sonic Boom. What would Boom Mario and Boom Luigi be like, and what would happen when they meet?
I'm imagining just an animated version of the live-action actors.
Really? Which live-action actors? Hold on.
Oh, sorry from the Super Mario Brothers Super Show.
Okay. We need to be specific here because
I know.
There are multiple live-action Marios and Luigis.
I realize that now, but yeah, them.
Yeah, Boom
Just
Mario and
animated.
Luigi are just the Deke shows. Yeah, that makes sense.
No, not the Deke animated versions. The live action actors who did the bridging segments.
Well, they're the same.
They'd also voiced.
They did the voices
animated
too.
version?
Yes.
They sound nothing alike.
No, yes, they do.
No, not remotely. I much preferred.
No, are you
the live action.
are you sure you're not thinking of like the voice actors from Mario 3 and Mario World cartoons? Those ones, because they had different voice actors.
Maybe that's one. It's been so long since I watched that.
Yeah, the voice actors for those were different than.
Well,
Danny Wells and Lou
still-
Albano were the voice actors for the Super Show and
Alright,
the live action actors.
I'm going to double down and say animated versions of how the live action actors looked.
Okay, we'll go with that. We'll go with that. Although you know what, John Leguizamo and Bob Hoskins in Sonic Boom would be pretty funny.
That would also work. That would also be fine. It would be a very different dynamic, though.
It would. What would happen when they meet, though, Ian?
Well, I mean, somebody's got to unclog the grease drain over at Mad Burger, and they need some serious professionals for that.
True. And they are serious professionals.
And then everybody's kind of hanging out and having a good time until Eggman invades because he's mad. There's only one mustachioed man allowed on this island, and it's him, damn it.
And then they're all buddies afterwards.
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, they start... he comes in all mad about the bit of them stealing his shtick as mustachioed man, and they're like, well, can you blame us? Look at our mustaches. Well, they are very nice. Yours is actually very nice, too. Oh, well, thank you. Some hedgehogs don't seem to notice.
Yes.
And then they volunteered to, help with the, lava plumbing at the volcano lair, because it's very hard to find professionals who can handle that. And then they're hanging out. They're having a good time.
Yeah.
Until he accidentally serves them evil cookies, and then they become Wario and Waluigi.
All right, we'll go with that. And then they, at the end of the episode, over the credits, they all do the Mario.
They absolutely do.
All of them. Every single one. And we got a question from Alphamon or Yukin. I couldn't help but feeling a little disappointed that we never got a direct confrontation between Locke and Knuckles while he was Enerjack. Considering the fact that this incarnation is more of an emotionally twisted version of our favorite Echidna, I can't help but wonder what kind of interaction he would have with his father in this scenario. Would Knuckles snap at him for his bad parenting right off the bat, be unnervingly calm while verbally tearing Locke down to his breaking point, or just send him flying off the island with a world's worst dad mug?
Honestly, I think it would be more joy, because he's finally achieved what his father set out for him. He is the savior of all Echidna kind. He has become the living embodiment of chaos emerald power as he was bred to be. Mm-hmm. He's changing the world to make their people safer. He's conquering all evil. He's, directly subverting the vision of the doomed future that Locke had foreseen. He's doing everything his father had wanted him to do. Isn't he proud of him? Aren't you happy? This is exactly what you wanted. And Locke's like, not exactly. And then the cracks start to form because, well, then what more do you want? You set him down this path. You manipulated him before he was born. You took him away from his mother. You ignored the advice of everyone around you. Like, even the Brotherhood was like, Locke, maybe not, buddy. And he's like, no, I saw a vision of the future. This is totally cool. everyone told him you're doing a bad thing, and he went through with it anyway, and this was the result. So what more could you possibly want? And why are you, is that a doomsday device meant to kill Interjack in your hand?
Oh no.
So what, I'm not good enough now? Are you here to correct the mistake? What more do you want? And then the anger comes out because it's Knuckles. He solves problems with anger. He solves everything with anger, which causes more problems, which requires more anger.
Good to see Locke reaping what he has sown. That's really what it is. This time Locke gets put in the microwave.
I don't know if Energy Knuckles would pull the trigger, though. He's like, for all the terrible things Locke did in the name of greater good, Knuckles still loved and trusted him. And twisted as he is as Interjack, he was still driven by a sense of righteousness, that he was doing good in his own mind. He wasn't evil. Like, he didn't think, har, 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 I'm doing the bad things. It was, I'm doing what is right in his own mindset. So I don't know if he would actually physically lash out at Locke. Or maybe he would try to and can't bring himself to do it. I don't know. It would be uncomfortable one way or the other.
Yeah. Interesting to think about, though. Andrew D has a question. What are some stories you both would like to see, Sonic or otherwise, that you don't believe would have any relevance to the source material and may even be pointless as a story, but as a rule of cool or personal attachment you would want to see anyway? It doesn't even need to have any sort of story structure or purpose. It would just be something cool that you personally want to see regardless. For example, I'd be interested in seeing any of the Mechasonics being created and prepping before their fights with Sonic, or even the daily life of Ganondorf from Ocarina of Time.
Yeah, especially that latter one. You know, what was his life like? You know, being the only son of a Gerudo and growing up in a culture that was very, what's the opposite of misogyny?
Matriarchal instead of patriarchal?
Yeah, okay. I feel like that doesn't have the same negative connotation, though.
I know.
Misandry?
It's misandry is the... Yeah, misandrist? Maybe that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Something like that.
Because it isn't just that it was all matriarchal. It was that, you know, they looked down on men in general. So, you know, he's being born into that culture and he's expected to lead them. That's got to be awkward.
That's weird.
Never mind that they're in a harsh environment where, you know, supplies and comforts are limited, which is going to put anybody on edge. It would be an interesting story, to be sure.
What about any other stories you want to see like that?
That casts such a large net.
Yeah.
You know, what incidentals do you want to see in all your favorite popular media?
That's usually what fanfic is for.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I honestly don't know. I can't really... I'm spoiled for choice here.
Blaze's daily life? I don't know. We'll think about this. Maybe someone can throw in their own in the comments below. Here's a question from Ava Arctic. Did Phage have any influence on Sage, or is it just a big coincidence? Two AI creatures that work for Eggman that want to cause problems for our heroes in cyberspace. Their names sounding similar too, even though Sage is probably just a reorganized spelling of Sega.
Correct. And that did weigh heavily on my mind when we were starting, because that was the premise that was given to me. Eggman creates an AI daughter, and I'm like, oh, people are going to think this is Phage. I didn't do this.
Wasn't me.
But to a degree, that also did inform how I was approaching Sage's character, because I wanted to make sure that she wasn't Phage. I didn't know what she looked like until the design was released to the public, so the correlation there, not any of my doing either. So the similarities are pretty much entirely coincidental. Like, maybe there's a bit of cross-pollination that I did subconsciously, but they are not born of each other in any way that I can think of.
And here's a question from Bounce Bloom. All the Tails across all iterations have hopped into the IDW universe and are now following Sonic around. How does Sonic react to several dozen of his Fox friends jumping him? Surely he can't afford to fund all of their tinkering hobbies at once.
Well, Sonic gets fast.
Sonic doesn't have any money. What are you talking about? The Tails is all fund their own hobbies.
I mean, the whole reason why Tails has tails is because he gets left behind, so he can just respawn and fly in from anywhere on the screen.
Yes.
So the answer is Sonic runs. And whoever can catch up, they can get acknowledged. Weed out the weak ones.
Dang. Boy, that escalated quickly.
He high-fives the one real one, looks back at the others and go, look at all those Miles fails prowers.
Ooh! What? Is this Fleetway Sonic? Ow! Ow! Man, no wonder 9 is the way he is. Why do you hate Tails, Ian Flynn? Oy. And we got a question from KB. Terrible news! Froggy has passed away. He croaked his last croak before he finally croaked. How does Big handle the news, and what will he do next?
Well, he confides in Amy that he's a little worried about his friend Froggy. He's been sleeping a whole lot lately.
Oh, no!
And even wake up for food.
Oh, no!
And Amy goes, you know what? I'm going to go take him to the vet for you and see how he is. And, disposes the body, finds another identical frog and brings him back and says, here he is. He was just feeling a little irpy. He's right as rain. Yay!
Oh. Ian Flynn, why do you hate Froggy?
He even grew a new stripe.
Oh boy. How many times has this happened?
That forest is full of frogs.
Frog corpses, you mean?
Mm.
Oh boy. Chow Researcher has a question. Have you played Pal World yet? Which Pal is your favorite based on what you've seen?
Most of what I know about Pal World is like the discourse around it.
I barely even remember that or Pal World.
Like you give them guns, you make them slave labor. They're all pretty clearly knockoff Pokemons.
Okay.
It kind of came and went.
It very much did, yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there's still a dedicated player base to it, but I don't know really anything beyond that.
Yeah. It's Pokemon with an edge. I don't know. Chaos Sonic 1 has a question. The famous cat distribution system distributed a helpless kitten to Shadow. Now, would Shadow take care of it, or will it be the first loss of the cat distribution system?
Are you kidding me?
He will be the ultimate cat caretaker.
Exactly. You're going to be wondering why there's a cat in every single piece of promo art that Shadow has. It's going to be the best taken care of cat in all of existence.
Yes, absolutely. 100%. Comic the Hedgehog has a question. Mascot fight. It's a 4-way battle between Sonic, Pikachu, Mario, and Mickey Mouse. Who will be the mascot king? To even the odds, we can imagine that Mickey has a sorcerer hat and everyone else has a power-up. The question is, which power-up?
And don't discount Mickey. If we're talking like European comics Mickey, he's a scrapper.
Yeah. Mickey will screw with him.
He's quite accomplished. He's not someone to be trifled with.
Yeah. Mickey has blood on his hands.
Oh, you want to go?
I mean, he's got a keyblade even. Like, I mean, don't screw around with him.
Gonna catch these gloved hands.
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't know, Smash Brothers style. I imagine it'd be a pretty even fight all the way across the board.
Yeah.
Now let's take power-ups out of the equation, because that, depending on what the power-up is, that really skews things. If it's just on raw talent,
that unbalances everything. Yeah.
Raw talent, it's going to be a close one. I don't know if I can call that one.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, sure, Sonic and Pikachu are arguably faster, but you could also say that Mickey and Mario are more generally versatile.
It's not an easy fight, that's for sure. That's a knockdown.
You're just gonna have to place it on like infinite stock for 5 minutes and see who comes out on top.
Yeah, too bad. Unfortunately, Mickey is not actually in Smash. Guess Sora will have to fight in his place.
Just look only at the shoes. Pretend it's just the shoes.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, there, Sora. Go and keep it simple and clean. Haha.
Yeah. Question from CTFeologist. In the Sonic X anime, King Boom Boo possesses Amy for part of an episode. Could his counterpart from the games potentially have the same possession abilities in future appearances? Or can this element not appear again because of it originating in the anime?
I'm honestly not sure. I mean, in the game, at most, we see the Boos grab people, not possess, but that's, gameplay. I don't know how much you can actually read into that lore-wise. I'm not really eager to see it return because that freaked me out, quite honestly. The characters with the possessed boom faces, that's honestly unsettling. Like, I think that's the only Sonic X issue I didn't read because gives me the Ghiblies.
I don't know. I think it looks kind of cool.
It's a very effective use of the style and such. I just don't like it.
Yeah. And a question from Konga. How do you think Black Doom would react to learning that there's a genre of metal that shares his name?
Who do you think came up with it?
There's 2 genres that share, well, I guess 3. Black Doom metal, that's one. Then there's Doom metal, and then there's black metal. It's all of them.
Seems a trifle redundant, but all right.
Well, what's the difference between all of them? Not much. Cool Christy 1 has a question. What does Werehog Sonic and Jughead the Hunger have in common for Halloween?
It's pretty obvious. Their desire for chili dogs.
Is Jughead the Hunger like the horror version of Jughead? Is he just literally just hungry, or like is there more to it than that? I don't actually know.
There's different horror lines for Archie now, and
okay.
Afterlife with Archie, he's patient 0 for the zombie apocalypse.
Okay, that makes sense.
And in Jughead the Hunger, he's a werewolf.
Oh, okay. All right, that makes sense. All right, question from Danomancy. Sonic has been storybooked into everyone's favorite public domain property, The Great Gatsby. How does this adaptation go, and what world-ending event prompts Sonic's summoning this time?
You got me, and I'm mad about this. Because I know I read The Great Gatsby. We studied that thing from cover to cover. What do the symbols mean? What does this mean? What does that mean? What are the themes? We were thorough on that, and I've retained nothing.
Well, I guess that makes 2 of us.
Like, I distinctly remember us watching the original film adaptation, not the one with Leonardo DiCaprio, a much older version.
Yes.
And highlighting all the differences they made, all the changes they made between the two, and how the film kind of dropped the ball on a lot of it, and why the book, was superior in these particular ways because of what it was trying to present thematically. And I cannot tell you word 1 about what any of it was. And I really wanted to see the Leonardo DiCaprio one because it looked stylish as all get out. And it's like, ooh, this would be kind of fun to see how they did the book. But I never got around to watching it. Mm-hmm. And I've, again, forgotten everything about that bloody book. But I read it thoroughly, Kyle. I should be able to riff on this for a solid 30 minutes, and I have nothing. So.
Well, I have forgotten it as well, but I do have a quote for you. Quote, "Great news, Starline. It's not a rock this time."
So, Danomancy, I have failed you. You have found the weak point in my armor and fired that arrow straight and true. You win.
I didn't know we were fighting. I didn't know, you were battling with these questioners, Ian. Is that what's going on?
Oh, everyone is a battle, Kyle. Every day.
every question a battle.
Even the ones that are like, "Hi, Ian, how are you? I hope you're having a good day. Bye." Grueling. Vicious.
Well, let's take a break from the questions then for a minute, and then come back with more on the BumbleKast.
This ad break is sponsored by JCR1216.
From Scuffed Studios, JCR1216, some idiots join Josh, a quirked up white boy with a little swag, and his talking dog Sparky, along with their cast of old friends Parker, Brandon, Riley, and a guy named Zane. Or is it Zane with a Y? Josh can't figure it out! Watch as they do the stupidest things ever done on television, inspired by early YouTube sketch comedies like Smosh and the buddy feel of the web show Ed's World. They promise unhinged humor and are truly one of the shows of all time. Don't miss out on the pure angst and cringe humor reminiscent of fan fiction you wrote in high school, cranked up to friggin' 11. Season 1 is out now, with Season 2 coming very soon.
But at the end of the day, it's Josh and his friends trying to survive being themselves as they navigate the mental headaches of high school, social media, and the double standards of a greedy world. Some Idiots is rated TV-14 for strong language, brief violence, and suggestive references. There's also a full, unbleeped version on Patreon for just $2.99. If you don't want to watch the cringe fest, and Josh won't blame you, just go and give the show your support on IMDb. That's right, inflate the ratings, just like Josh's ego. Bazongo, my fellow gamers.
We're back with a question from DDR Master M. Somehow, someway, Mimic gets his own talk show. What's it about, and can it survive being sued for his impressions?
I imagine he turns into his guests and tries to outdo them in themselves.
I can imagine that would not last very long.
No, but he'd be entertained. The audience might be entertained watching the guest get flustered that they can't measure up to themselves.
Mm-hmm. yeah. It gets into a ratings duel with Comedy Chimp. Dewdrop has a question. Scenario. Sally of the Boom Freedom Fighters wants to make contact with the heroes of Hedgehog Village and talk business. Sonic and Amy are the only ones available. But upon hearing Sally wants to meet at a restaurant with her partner Nicole, the concern is that this may look more like a double date than do-gooder diplomacy. The concern is quickly supplanted upon realizing that Nicole is a store-bought assistant/GPS, no more sentient than an Amazon Alexa. And Sally won't admit it. How go?
Dewdrop, this is excellent. This is absolutely a Boom plot.
This is 110% a fantastic Boom episode.
I feel like you've done most of the work for me here.
I mean, yeah, but also...
I feel like most folks would have phrased it as Sonic and Amy are afraid it's going to look like a double date. How does this turn out? And my answer would not be nearly as funny as Nicole is just an Alexa that you put on the table. And Sally still treats as a person right there. That's funny. That's really funny.
That's very good.
That's clever. I like that a lot.
Yes.
And, so I imagine the talks are going generally well. It's just a little awkward when Sally gets increasingly more personal in her correspondence with Nicole.
Yeah.
Until finally, in a kind of forced whisper, she just leans over and goes, "They're going to think this is a double date. Put on your game face, Nicole." To which Sonic and Amy simultaneously stand up and go, "We're going to stay free agents, but you do you. Thanks for talking. Bye."
Damn it, Nicole. You ruined this for us.
Oh, I can't stay mad at you when you make that face.
Face is just a loading screen. Oh, this is simultaneously adorable, and I feel bad for Sally. Kind of sad.
Freedom Fighters go to confront Eggman. He's like, "What's with the hand-sized Roomba? Yeah. This is Nicole, our great strategist and tech support. That's an Alexa. No, it's not. It's my dearest friend and deep personal companion. Alexa, divide by 0. And then it just starts freaking out. So I was like, "No, you killed her."
Oh, no. Oh, that's even worse. Oh, man. Poor Sally. Funny, though. Question from Double L. In a rain-drenched forest, a lone man runs for his life, chased by the overlanders he just betrayed. By chance, he trips, landing in the mud in just the right way to be overlooked by his chasers, and instead found by a pair of hedgehogs who bring the man to their king. Almost instantly, King Max Acorn announces the appointment of a new warlord. His full title, Warlord Dave the Intern. Is Dave effective, or are the overlanders having a pool party in the source of all by day's end?
I like how he's warlord and still intern.
It's not a title. It's his name. Like, is Dave the Intern. It's like Sonic the Hedgehog, It has to be.
It's not my species, sir. It's more of a... Never mind. Why were they chasing you like that, dear boy? They said no pickle, and I didn't hear.
Yes. And Max is not going to pay him. What are you talking about? So of course he's still an intern in that sense.
I don't know which is funnier, Dave being completely out of his depth and Max being like 100% behind him, even until like the Overlanders march in on him, or if Dave is just like the most brilliant tactical genius to ever be born, is this ruthless warlord of the Acorn forces, completely conquers the rest of Mobius for Max in a day, and then has to go back and flip burgers.
Yep.
What do you mean I gotta go back? Well, war's done, boy. Thank you very much. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. I'll write you a recommendation. A royal one. Yes.
King Max has become King Nigel.
I can't do a Tim Curry, so.
Oh well. Here's Dove with a question. In issue 64, the B story, Two of a Kind, while Blaze and Silver are talking, we see a raccoon girl in the background. I know she's probably just a background element and not much more, but as a fan of raccoons, who is she, Ian? Who is she? If you don't know, or if she was made by the artist just to be there, no worries.
Just a background character.
Yeah, you said the same thing about Lanolin, too.
And that changed, granted. That changed. I don't know if folks are going gaga over all the various competitors in the current writers arc, who are, to the best of my knowledge, just there to fill out the crowd in interesting ways. But
Yeah, but people like them. People like characters they don't know. They want to know more, Ian. They're intrigued.
And that's great, and that's what fanfic's for.
Make up your own character for them. All right, Emmy has a question. If you were given the opportunity, is there any narrative from a specific game that you would rewrite or adapt in your own way? It doesn't have to just be Sonic.
It's hard to say, because if there's a game I enjoyed, then I don't really want to tinker with it. And there's one I didn't enjoy, then I didn't really commit it to memory. And but you say do it in my own way, you mean like do a comic adaptation, or if I were in charge of the narrative itself and did the game over?
I'm assuming that one.
Because again, maybe Mass Effect 3.
Yeah.
I actually got the Legacy Collection not too long ago and started going through again for old time's sake.
Mm-hmm.
And, first one went a little better than I remembered, but the formula for it came through really fast. Second one was just as engaging as I remembered, and I was stressing really hard about getting all the content before the point of no return. It's like, oh, I want to experience all of this again. This is great. And then I started in part 3, and it's like, there are some high points that I had forgotten, but I know how this goes, and that kind of killed my enthusiasm. I still haven't finished that run. So, yeah, give me writer god powers. I'll rewrite Mass Effect 3. Why not? What would I do with it? I have no idea off the top of my head. Thane ain't going out like a chump, I'll tell you that. None of this, I'm too sick to be a party member. Nah, dude, you're one of the first recruited. Like, Morden's a genius and found a way to cure your lung cancer or whatever.
Yeah.
You don't have one fight on top of a taxi and then get killed off screen. Bah! Bah, I say.
What about Other M?
No, that's dead in the ground.
Metroid Other M.
Oh, no, that's dead in the ground.
Okay.
Like,
sorry.
Maybe Metroid Other M has an interesting premise with the traitor amongst the Galactic Federation soldiers, but I don't know. The amount of rewriting might as well just be a new game at that point.
Mm-hmm. True. All right. Here's a question from Energy. How happy were you guys to find out that Terios was going to become a skin in South by Southwest?
Unreasonably excited.
I think they meant Sonic and Shadow Generations, but they said SXSW. So what am I supposed to say? South by Southwest.
And, I was so excited by this premise that I completely glossed over that, too. That's how excited I am for Terios.
Yeah.
That level of deep cut, like the Adventure 1 skin, that's neat. That's fun. The Sonic R skin, that's cool. That's kind of fun.
That's cute.
I like it. Freaking Terios.
I'm surprised.
Never in my wildest dreams. That cracks me. I love it. Absolutely love it.
Do it. It's Sonato Generations, we know. But, officially what it's called is that. It's not called South by Southwest, though. That's a different thing.
That, and it's also fun because I'm not going to go into too much detail, but I was involved in the game. So to have something that I completely caught me off guard and was a surprise to me as a fan was extra exciting. That's fun.
Here's a question from Godzilla. Eggman decides to hold a multiversal Egg Boss and Grandmaster Survivor game. How does it go? Is Drago the first one to get voted off the island? How quickly did the others get tired of Thunderbolt's love for Eggman? How does Liandal ultimately get in her own way, causing her yet another L? And how did Mordred Hood end up the last snake standing?
I mean, he's got the hypnotic powers. So he spent most of the competition just keeping his head down. And then he gets to the very end, hypnotizes whoever's left and goes, "Turn around, walk off the cliff, I win."
Dang. Brutal.
I mean, they're all bad people. What do you want?
No, I mean, true. Just trying to imagine Eggman as like, oh, man. Crap. Who's the host of freaking Survivor?
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, just trying to imagine.
I don't remember.
Trying to imagine Eggman as Jeff Probst. There we go. Yeah.
There we go.
Jeff Probst. For some reason I wanted to call him Greg. Greg Probst. And I'm like, wait a minute, I'm not Greg Proops. Am I thinking of Greg Proops? No, I'm not thinking of Greg Proops. That's a different guy.
I mean, everybody's a little tired of Thunderbolt, but what they're more tired of is they consistently vote her off the island, and Eggman does the tally and goes, "Everyone's voted you off the island, but you keep, praising me, so you stay."
Yes.
Cuckoo, you're out.
Yeah. Total Chaos Island. There we go.
Liandal tries to manipulate everybody else, play them against each other, form alliances and alliances behind alliances and alliances for alliances, creating this big Machiavellian web to serve her. And then, I don't know, Drago just shanks her and throws her off the island. She's the only one she wouldn't talk to.
Starline, crushed by a rock.
Maybe that's why Drago gets voted off first, because you're not supposed to kill each other, just outperform. And he's like, "Oh, I missed that part."
Oh, no. Poor Starline. Off on his next isekai adventure. Question from Happy Times. Someone actually asks Surge out. Surge isn't interested in them romantically, but agrees just to see where it goes, and intentionally doesn't mention that part to Kit to add to the lulls. How does it play out?
She's doing the bare minimum to engage with her prospective date, all the while kind of seeing Kit out of the corner of her eye and trying to stifle a laugh as he gets closer and closer to murderous intent. And then,
oh no,
the entire time she's weighing, if this guy's cool enough, chill enough, whatever, she'll get Kit to back off. If she gets left with the check, she's going to let Drippy have his way.
Oh dear. Hearts13 has a question. The Sonic manga, starring Nicky Hedgehog as the Blue Blur, Jekyll and Hyde style, is adapted into a slice-of-life/sci fantasy adventure with art style reminiscent of 70s, 80s, and 90s anime such as Doraemon, Urusei Yatsura, and Ranma 1/2. Do you think Nicky's manga adventures would adapt well as a retro-style anime?
Sure.
I think that would be fun. Here's a question from Anon. In honor of me remembering the iconic Love Struck variant Archie cover, if it had to be redone with IDW characters, what background actions would Tangle, Lanolin, Jewel, Surge, and Whisper do to win Sonic's affection? And what gifts would they give?
I really need to stop doing the thoughtful inhale on mic. I'm sure people are getting really tired of
it. I actually cut a lot of those out.
Not all of them, though.
But not all of them.
Files and
not all of them, but I do cut quite a few.
I apologize, folks. Just the brain needs oxygen. Um,
And you're just very tired of everything. I'm kidding.
Tangle, I can see kind of just leaping forward happily, tail extending and offering a chili dog.
Yeah.
Lanolin, maybe she's just got this very serious, dead set expression as she's just booking it after him, and presented what looks like a gold ring that's been meticulously gift wrapped. The gag being that when you unwrap it, it would totally not be a ring; it'd be something completely different.
Mm-hmm.
Jewel flying behind everybody, offering a Chaos Emerald. She manages shiny rocks after all.
Mm-hmm.
Surge chasing after him, wielding a baseball bat, and we're not entirely sure if that's a romantic action.
Well, for her, it is.
And Whisper is in hot pursuit, mask over her face in this kind of spooky way, but the lens is heart-shaped.
She's still got her gun pointed at him, though. Still got that Wispin trained on him, just in case. You never know with that hedgehog.
There's a very unique Cupid wisp floating around the barrel.
Yes. And we got a question from Johnny B. Good. Shadow was sealed away 50 years ago, which could have been in the 1950s or the 1970s. Whatever. In either case, was Shadow a big fan of Elvis Presley? Which Sonic character had to break it to him that Elvis passed away decades ago?
Now imagine this very opening scene of Shadow coming out of his sealed casket and looking down at Eggman saying, "You've released me, my master, and I'm all shook up."
No! Oh.
You ain't nothing but a blue hedgehog crying all the time.
Put him back in.
You ain't nothing but a faker and he ain't no friend of mine.
Ow.
This is what you wanted, isn't it, Maria? Everyone to have a peanut butter and banana sandwich.
No. No.
He's finally gotten over Maria that you tell him about Elvis. This is what you wanted, isn't it, Elvis? Revenge?
Nobody tell him how Elvis died. It all ends with Shadow on the toilet. No! No! No, no, no.
I'm going to now sing a song about my blue skate shoes.
Good with someone in the chat asking, how did Elvis die? Look it up on your own time.
We're a family show.
Here's one from Jara. With as much time as Chip and Dark Gaia spend slumbering, have they considered applying for citizenship in Imaginary World? What is the immigration process like? REM's getting real tired of them.
Well, if anything, she was worried when they disappeared for a while.
Oh, maybe that's it. Yeah. She was like, uh-oh, no, they're out.
Are you okay? I was so worried. You were gone for like days. Chip's like, no. It was great. We made some new friends. I actually got to eat real food. And Dark Eye is like,
oh, it's not the version of Dark Gaia from that one off panel.
No.
Oh,
but it's a much smaller version.
Okay.
Just a little angry snake has to clock into the Nightmare Factory.
Yeah.
Dark Eye was so happy he managed to get off work for a few days.
Yeah, true.
Eggman shatters his body. It's like, oh, relaxation. Got to dance around by possessing people. Got to see all sorts of new places. Got to jazzercise with that weird hog critter. He had a great vacation. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's why he fought so hard to be sealed back in. Now he's got to go back to work.
Oh, man. Oh. Well, we're almost done with our work, but we got one last question, and it's from King Tales. How would Modern Tales react if someone he got to know well, like a regular person, who also happens to share many of Tales' interests and hobbies, asked to adopt him or be his mother/father? Would he be open to the idea? How would Sonic, Amy, or Tangle think about it? Has Tails moved past needing a parental figure, or would it be more something that he would want?
I think he'd be weirded out by it. Like, to get to know someone as a friend, and then that new friend of yours is like, hi, Should I call you son? No, that's weird.
Can I adopt you?
Like that would put a hard break on the friendship there. And Tails, I'm gonna go. I'll call you later, maybe.
So Tails won't accept anybody trying to adopt him?
Not some new friend, no.
Oh, what about an old friend?
I don't think there's anybody that he... No, I don't think so. Like, the only reasonable choice out of anybody would be Vanilla.
Yeah.
And I can't see him going that route. I think he's been on his own long enough, and he's become so self-reliant. He has his found family. He doesn't really need anybody else.
Yeah. I'm being told that Tails makes guns as a hobby, so it's probably not going to end well.
I imagine him sitting down with the others going, that was weird, right? That wasn't me misstepping. It sounds like, no, dude, totally weird. And it's like, I hope it came from a sincere place, but no, that is kind of weird. And Tangle's like, I don't know. What kind of game systems do they have? And I was like, Tangle, kidding. I'm joking.
But really, though.
Retro consoles are the new stuff.
Yeah.
Right. I'll drop it. What do they have in their fridge? Tangle. I'm just saying, if you're taking kid applications, aren't you a married woman now? Everyone needs a hobby.
You can adopt Tangle if you got cool stuff. That's good to know.
They've got an exercise bike with a TV on it. That's awesome. Tails, can you modify this so I can actually go like BMX racing with this thing? No, Tangle. Did you actually take it from that man's house? Did they adopt you? Not yet, but they did show me around.
Not yet, but they will.
Maybe not if you steal their exercise bike. Those things are expensive.
Yeah, true. Tangle makes off with someone's Peloton. I didn't even know that thing could move.
And it was just a joke at first, but I mean, they didn't come looking for it, so she's got one now. And man, when you plug a wisp into that thing, it moves real fast.
It's a lot of people in the chat wanting Tangle to take their money.
Well,
or wanting to adopt Tangle.
She can't take your money. She's a fictional character, but we can. If you send us more questions over at patreon.com/BumbleKast, Ko-fi.com/BumbleKast, or become a YouTube member. Until then, though, be good to yourselves, be good to each other, and we will see you next time on the BumbleKast.
Well, there goes your PS4. That's what happened to it. Damn lemur. You've been listening to the BumbleKast, a co-production of Bumble King Comics and the KNGI Network. Original theme music composed by Ken Coda Snyder. Remixed intro by T-Lopes. Find out more information, along with podcast feeder links, MP3 downloads, and more at bumbleking.com and kngi.org.
Like, I'm going to spend the rest of the night trying to, like, wiki up freaking Great Gatsby. I have other things to do. I don't need to reread Great Gatsby.
Don't worry about it. Surge is the green light. I don't remember. I remember nothing. I'm like 99% sure I read it too, but I do not remember it at all. Oh well.